welcome to another episode of Straight Talk by Mahindra Racing. We are coming to you from Monaco for round 6 of Formula E. However, as you can see, we're not coming to you from the track. We are actually at the Yacht Club in Monaco because this is the location where the brand new Gen 3 car was revealed last night. It is the fastest, the lightest, the most efficient and powerful electric race car that there ever has been. And to celebrate the occasion, I'm going to be chatting with Mahindra's technical director, Lewis Butler, and our racing driver / sustainability expert, Alexander Sims. So, should we get into the chat, guys?
Go ahead, nice to meet you.
Right, so Lewis, I want to get into the performance of this car. As I said, it's meant to be super fast, super quick, but just how fast and quick is it meant to be?
Well, the main features that make it faster and more performant than the current car are that it's significantly lighter, around 80 kilos or so, which makes a big difference on a car like this. And also the main thing is that in qualifying mode, the power is a lot higher, 100 kilowatts more, which is just about 150 horsepower more, which will make a big difference, especially at tracks like this, where we try and make sure that the cars get up to quite high speeds. But the main feature that makes it different and makes it more efficient for use around tracks like this and other ones in Formula E is it has a front regeneration kit. And what that means is that instead of using brakes, it tends to put power into the battery, which then allows it to go further for a smaller battery, which helps make the car lighter. And it's one of the first cars to do that, in fact definitely the first race car, and that's one of the main features that's different between this and the current car.
Fantastic. Bit of a step up from last generation then. And could you talk us a bit more about the powertrain of this car?
Yeah, sure. So at the back, it's a relatively standard powertrain for Formula E now, but it's more powerful, so 100 kilowatts more. Then on the front, the main difference that we have is there's a kit that's part of the standard supply for all the teams being the same, but it's actually, instead of using the front brakes significantly, it uses a regeneration power straight through a motor and a gearbox here and feeds back to the battery. In our case, we'll be employing our ZF powertrain at the back, which is about to start running on track very soon, so we're quite excited about that. But in terms of the power output, we get that from the same rough mass and size as we have now on the car, so there's quite a big step in that area too. And then efficiency in terms of thermal is also better, so there's a bit less cooling on our side of the car than there was because the efficiency is higher. And on the other side, the battery itself runs at higher temperature as well, so it helps to make sure that the car can run more efficiently around streets like this and faster.
And Lewis, a question that I get asked a lot working in Formula E is how long does it take to charge these electric cars? As we've already established, this is a major step up from last gen. So yeah, how long does it take?
Okay, so if you were charging it from scratch with the standard garage charger, it would be just over half an hour. But with the in pit stop charging we're going to have, it's going to be 600 kilowatts, which is I think the fastest charging that's been employed on a racing car certainly, and possibly anywhere. And that's going to be done in less than 1 minute in the pit lane, and that's to allow the drivers to get more power as they come out of the pits basically, and then to finish off the race in a faster way. So it's quite an exciting step and something that I think we're all looking forward to getting to with our development cars before we see the race cars in a few months' time.
Right, let's hear from you, Alex. Now, I want to ask about the car, given that it's net zero carbon. Formula E is obviously net zero carbon, but to the listeners and people that are watching at home, could you explain what exactly that means?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the importance with the term net zero carbon, firstly, is that we as a championship are doing all that we can to reduce the energy, the carbon involved in our process, in the manufacturing, and then we are offsetting what inevitably we can't offset, can't get rid of everything. We are a championship that exists and we do travel around the world, so yeah, offset what we can't. But yeah, in terms of the car itself, I think there are a few major things that have been introduced for this Gen 3 car. The bodywork itself has become a lot more sustainable by using linen and recycled carbon to create the carbon fibre bodywork, which is a big step forward in carbon fibre production, I would say, for race car parts. Then secondly, the tyres themselves. It's a new tyre supplier for Gen 3, and they have introduced natural rubbers and recycled materials into the tyres production. We're also actually reducing the amount of tyres that we have on a race weekend, so the overall amount of tyres that we use during the season should reduce. Then all the suppliers for Gen 3 have to abide by the FIA accreditation for sustainability that we at Mahindra Racing have also, I think we were the first team, I think, to comply with those sustainable credentials. And the battery, I guess, is the last main thing. I mean, there's lots of points, but yeah, the battery being the last main thing, that it's made out of recycled, some recycled materials, and will be fully recyclable at the end of its life once it's been reused for other purposes as well. So as we're seeing with a lot of batteries across the whole EV market, actually, there's starting to become a second life for batteries once they're finished their standard usage in the car itself. They're still good enough for other applications. Battery storage for balancing out renewable power and stuff like that is the main focus at the moment, where they can be reused. So yeah, I mean, there's a whole host of things, and it's really impressive to see Formula E doing what they are doing to keep sustainability at their core.
100%. And also one thing that's really cool about this car is that it's the most efficient electric race car to ever be made. Do you know why that is? I feel like you're coming through with all of the facts and figures today.
Yeah, I mean, there's, I guess, efficiency incorporates various different aspects, but I mean, certainly on track, it will be incredibly efficient. I mean, you can see from a visual point of view the size of the brakes. So that the front brakes are now tiny, and we don't have any rear brakes on the car. And so that in itself is a very visual demonstration that the energy that we are using to propel the car, we are capturing the vast majority of it back through the regenerative braking in the motors, putting it back into the battery, and then deploying it coming out of the following corner. And so, yeah, I'd say that's, from a visual perspective, the clearest efficiency sign.
Brilliant. So when you look at the new Gen 3, are you like, okay, I'm ready for this, I'm excited for this, or do you think, ooh, quite a lot to learn, a bit challenging? What sort of vibe are you on?
Well, I mean, there's certainly a lot of aspects about it that will be new to us drivers. There aren't many on the grid that will have probably worked with front electric motors before. Maybe some that might have LMP1 experience, I guess, but that will be a challenge to understand how to work that into the dynamics of the car going around the corner most optimally to get the lap time out of it. But yeah, as Lewis alluded to earlier, the fact that it's just lighter weight and it's got more power, those things from a racing driver's perspective are generally perceived as a positive thing, to go faster and go around the corners quicker. So yeah, no, it should be really, really exciting to drive.
For sure. And I mean, whilst we can't drive this car is a great symbol of the race to road strategy that you have. And I know that Mahindra Racing are really big on that. So could you tell us a bit more about that strategy and what it means for Mahindra?
Yeah, well, at Mahindra, obviously electric vehicles are becoming an increasing part of our road car strategy, as with lots of global automotive manufacturers. And so yeah, we're using the Formula E program to really understand as much as we can about the cutting edge of EV technology, and inevitably those learnings get fed back into the road car development for the road cars of tomorrow.
Fantastic, thank you. Well, it's been great hearing from Lewis and Alexander today. Thank you very much for your time, guys. Without further ado, that's the end of the episode. Make sure to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe down below, and we'll catch you all in another episode of Straight Talk.